You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The Herons are champs. Yeah. Roll south to Freedom Park, rocking pink and black. Official tissue in the 305, bounty full of greats. The Battered Fan with Chris and Dan dropping hot takes. Messi and the Herons start the season with a star on the crest. So 29 fan bases can cry, cause we the best. Sign homegrowns like Noah, Frey and Ruiz, replacing goats with greats. Yeah, Miles got the cheese and he called it. Freedom to dream was the backbone. From Lockhart to Miami, it feels good to be at home. Multiple times a week on YouTube and audio. Take the time to subscribe, like and share the show. So check and chat, grab your MLS cup and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get a star again.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome everybody to episode number 538 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Goddard, and alongside me is not Mr. KBD. He'll be here shortly. He said he's running a couple minutes late, but didn't want to hold up the show, so I'm jumping on here to talk about what I've been saying we're going to talk about next week. I kept saying it. Hey, once we get to the to the World Cup break, you know, a lot less things to talk about. So I figured that's the perfect time to start talking about the Casemiro, because the Casemiro thing would probably happen at some point during June or July. So I wanted to wait and I wanted to talk about it then, but it looks like the ball got rolling a lot earlier than expected, and everywhere it seems to point towards Casemiro is coming, which we felt it was probably going to happen. But there's pros and cons, obviously. With most things, there's pros and cons. And I guess I don't hate the move, so I'll get the cons out of the way first before we get into the pros, because there are a lot of pros. The biggest con being, we are going to have to replace somebody that's playing well. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. When you look at the starting 11 here, and I'll put up a picture. It's going to cover my face, but it's fine. So when you look at the starting 11 here, this was the last starting 11 that we had up. For the most part, the back line, yes, if you want to say that we can have some upgrades over Lujan or St. Clair, that's fine. But for the most part, I felt like the back line is doing well. The goalie's improving. And then when you look at the midfield, I feel like the midfield is a strong suit of ours. Ever since Hoyos put Yannick Bright as the lone pivot, and he kind of released Rodrigo De Paul and Segovia to push up higher and contribute in the attack, I felt like the midfield's been looking really well. Yannick Bright's been killing it defensively. So I felt like our biggest need is obviously striker and wing, because if you look up top, obviously Messi's fine about the right wing, but at the left wing, if Silvetti isn't healthy, which he rarely is, you can't have Berterame out there. You can't have Luis Suarez out there. So I felt like those are the two positions, wing and striker, where we really need a big name player, where we need somebody to really contribute. And the fact that we're going to bring in Casemiro, yes, I understand it's hard to say no to a world-class player, but that's my only gripe here, is that if he's going to take up a DP spot and he's going to be somebody that demands big money and it kind of hamstrings us from making other moves, then I feel like we're not really improving as much as I would like. And before I keep going, Mr. KBD is finally here, so let me bring him on stage. There you are, sir. How you doing, sir?
Good, running a little late. Just a little crazy of a day, but shout out to Patrick Lee. Welcome to La Familia. You are La Familia. Everybody here is La Familia.
Well put, Chris. And real quick, for those of you that didn't have a chance to hear Chris, because Chris wasn't with us when we had the protest talk on Monday in Spanish and English shows. But if you are a member, make sure you check out La Ventanita. Shout out to Patrick Lee. You can check out that episode. Chris kind of weighed in, and he kind of went 20-25 minutes strong on his thoughts. So make sure you check that out if you are a member. And then yes, for everybody,
so where are you with this?
Yes, Real Madrid. I'm sorry?
where are you with this Casemiro thing? Like, how far have you gotten on the show with this?
So far, the only thing I've done is because I don't want to go negative, right? Because Casemiro is a world-class player, and I'm sure he could still go on and sign on to another big European squad. He was one of the best players on Manchester United last year, who just qualified for the Champions League for the first time in a few years. Like, and he was a big contributor to that. Like, I don't want to diminish who Casemiro is. I've been a fan of his for a while. For those of you that know, I am a Real Madrid supporter, so I am a big Casemiro fan. But I wanted to get the negative out of the way first before we got into the positives. And the negative is, and that's why I had the starting 11 up when you came on, that when you look at this, the back line, yeah, maybe it isn't the greatest, but for MLS standards, it's pretty solid. Right? Player-wise, talent-wise.
I guess.
And then
now that we got Regilon back, for sure.
Right. And then the keeper, you want to say Rocco, you want to say St. Clair, I still think that we're okay there. We're not terrible. And then I think the midfield is what's become our strong suit. Once Yannick Bright became the single pivot and he released DePaul and Segovia to push up further and he took care of the defensive responsibilities, I felt like that is a strong suit of ours. So our weakness is at wing and striker. And right now, if we're tying ourselves up to Casemiro and going to give him big money, that could hamstring us from getting big moves in the future. Now, are they going to change the rules later on? I don't know. But as of right now, I felt like, why? This is the second year in a row. And then we'll get on to the next part. But this is the second year in a row. When they said Rodrigo de Paul was coming last year, I was like, okay, great, world-class player, that's great. But at that time, we had Busquets, we had Bright, we had Redondo, we had I'm missing somebody. We had David Ruiz, we had Kremaki. We had a lot of people in the midfield. We still had Segovia. And we felt like, okay, Segovia, Busquets, and Bright, that's working. Why are we bringing in another midfielder? Where do you have Redondo that isn't even playing? And obviously, players start getting moved. Redondo got moved. Kremaki got moved. And I'm expecting something similar to happen now. I'm expecting, like, before the season started, I said Segovia is probably going to be gone in the summertime. And if this move happens, I think that Segovia, like I predicted in the preseason, Segovia is probably gone in the summertime.
So you don't think it's Bright?
I don't think that you can get as much money for Bright as you could for Segovia.
I don't know. I think you can get a better return on Bright because of the simple fact that he costed less than Segovia. And
okay, you mean
I think that the ceiling is a little higher. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I see people.
And here's the thing, like
wanting Segovia.
So I have a question for you and for the chat, right? Because as you know, I'm not really familiar too much with football, right? And Casemiro, I know he's got a rare gold card, so I'm totally cool with that.
No, he's a beast.
Okay, but now my question is he I don't want to ask it simply, is he as good as Busquets? Because I feel like, and this is just, again, from my perspective, I think Busquets sounds like he's better or has a better legacy than Casemiro. And in terms of like the play style,
and Casemiro are not the same player, because I've seen a lot of people saying that.
That's what I was wondering. Like, is he more of like a defensive person? Does he build in the attack? Does he have accuracy like Busquets does? Because if that's the case, from my viewpoint, it feels like he's more of a defensive player, which means that if they've been sticking with Segovia and RDP up top, I don't think that Yannick Bright has much time on this team, because he's essentially going to take that job from Yannick Bright.
Real quick, I just want to address this real quick. I make it an effort to now where I have hundreds of kids, and I'm not even exact, hundreds. And there's a big chunk of them that are Real Madrid. I think this is like the first or second time that I wear Real Madrid kids. So I make it a point to not wear Real Madrid kids here. But I felt like it was appropriate because it's Casemiro and the prime of his career was in Real Madrid.
So, and again, I just want to emphasize this, Soccer Daddy. I'm not comparing Boosie to Casemiro. I don't know enough to say whether he is or isn't the same or different. I'm asking the question. I mean, Nick is saying Casemiro is a defensive player, but he can score goals also, which apparently he has a lot of goals. But then he's getting fed by Silva. I think. Is it Silva that's feeding him? I'm not sure. One of the Portuguese people.
Are you talking about on Brazil?
No, on the team that he was just in right now.
Well, Bruno Fernandes,
Yeah,
which
Bruno
just broke
Fernandes.
the record
Yes.
for, or no, did he tie the record for most assists in the league?
Yeah.
Imagine Casemiro. This is the good example I can give you.
Okay.
Casemiro is like a million times better version of Gregory.
Oh my God, but that's like
A
so he's like better
destroyer.
than yeah.
Will take shots from outside the box. He scored some bangers for Real Madrid. I forgot there was one that he did in a final from outside the box, banger. So Casemiro will score goals from outside the box on set pieces. He can get you goals. Like, he is good inside the box, right? But he's not going to progress the ball the way Busquets did. So I've seen a lot of people like, oh, he's going to fill in that Busquets hole. He's not that player.
It doesn't look like I've seen him play, and I don't think that he's that kind of guy. Like you're not going to see a Tadeo Allende breakout year if he returns back from injury. Like, a lot of people don't understand that, for example, Tadeo Allende's success is not only tied to like Messi, but it's also tied to Sergio Busquets finding him in opportune times when he's making backline runs. And I don't see Casemiro, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't see him making those plays. Is he? I'm not
he's
sure.
Not bad with the ball. No, he's not bad on the ball. I mean, look, he played in one of the greatest midfields of all time. But you know why he was so successful in that midfield? Because he gave Toni Kroos and Luka Modric the opportunity to just go and be free and roam and push up, because he was taking care of the back end of that midfield. And he did it, and he gave them that freedom, and that's why he was so good. That's why that trio, and that's why Luka Modric and Toni Kroos did so well in that trio for so long. That's why James lost his starting job. James was a starter for Real Madrid until Zidane took over and Casemiro came back from loan from Porto. And once Casemiro came in there and he showed what he could do defensively, James lost his spot and he never came back. Casemiro will give you a better version of what Bright is giving you right now.
Okay, but is Casemiro a ball hawk like Bright is? Because I've watched him before, and I don't see him like Yannick Bright. I don't know what it is, and it's just because he just throws himself and just lunges his legs into like very uncomfortable areas for these players. And I feel like Yannick Bright defensively is like at the highest point in terms of in the midfield. I feel like he's the best midfielder defensively that we have, pound for pound. And if anybody wants to disagree with me, you guys can suck it.
No, but look, he reads the game well. He can anticipate a pass, right? So he'll intercept balls. His positioning is great. I mean, he has played in the highest levels that you could imagine. What?
No, because I wanted to bring that comment up. Blood compare Bright to Casemiro. He's comparing him in a way that I can understand. Man Moon Khan.
What he does. Right, what he does. And so what Bright gives you defensively, that is what Casemiro is going to give you, except he can also give you in the attack. He can score goals. And, you know, he's an accurate passer. He can play out of pressure. If you're pressuring him, he's not going to, at least he used to not turn the ball over like we've seen some other players do in the midfield. So, I mean, I think that Casemiro is a great pickup. My only issue is that what we're doing is we're upgrading a position that was solid already.
So 89J Stubbs with a 499 Super Sam comes through with the clothesline. Says, I could be wrong, but I think Boosie was washed when he came here. I feel Cass is way better, just not all time. Segovia leaving makes us more flexible. U22. And Mr. Fact, I'm not gonna take this. I'm not taking this. Bright as shit, bro. You need to walk yourself out of here quickly.
Now, a couple things though, and I'm gonna start putting up some of these. Okay, so this is the 11 we had. So
yes,
this 11 will probably stay this way, but we have to remove either Segovia or Bright. Okay,
it's gotta be Bright, dude. How can you have a midfield Of
This is what it would look like, okay?
yeah.
And I'm going to tell you where the issue is here. Casemiro, world class. David Ayala is probably going to be tough to sell because
Nobody knows what he does. Who
Right.
knows
They'd have to go based off of what he did in Portland.
Yeah, get out of here.
So I'm going to tell you when you look at this line, I'm going to tell you what the issue is here. Right now, Rodrigo De Paul is playing the best he's played since being into Miami because he no longer has the defensive responsibilities that he had before.
Yep.
Segovia also, even though Segovia's been contributing in the defense.
Playing a lot better.
We're pushing up. We're playing very aggressively. We're playing a high line. That's why we're scoring more goals. Competition is bad, but regardless, we're taking advantage, scoring more goals. This is where the issue is. Casemiro had one hell of a year last year. This past season for Man U. The year before, not as great. He's been picking up steam. People have been saying that he's lost a bit. He is not gonna be. Remember how frustrated we were when we see Busquets back there because he just didn't have the athleticism to get back whenever it was a transition. We get caught in the transition a lot. Casemiro is not gonna have the athleticism or the pace to get back in transition. Like Bright does. And that's not me saying Bright is better than Casemiro. That's just saying Casemiro isn't a spry chicken anymore. He's 34 at this point, and everybody knows he's slowed down. And the way that this team has been playing, I think that who's slandering Busquets, or unless it was in the chat, I haven't been reading. And that would be, I think, the negative to moving Bright out and having a Casemiro take over there, because I think in transition we might suffer a bit.
But now my question is like I said, when it comes to this specific player, which by the way, I just want to be clear, I feel like we don't need Casemiro. That's not where we needed to improve. On the contrary, I think that position is the midfield is the least of the place that I would have gone to improve this team.
How many goal and assist goal contributions does Bright have for Miami? But from his position, players don't usually have a lot of goal contributions from back there. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think if you look at the stats like that, then I mean, listen, I don't know. People say we don't know football. Like, you definitely don't even know for sure. Esteban saying, bro, he's a defensive midfielder in the Premier League. How do you think he can't run against MLS players?
I didn't say you can't. I said in transition he can't defend, probably. And Busquets was a defensive midfielder for Barcelona, and he also had a hard time because it's not them. If this was Casemiro from 5 years ago, then absolutely. I think he's going to have a hard time with the aggressive line that we play, getting back in transition. Hopefully I'm wrong. But from everything I've seen, Casemiro slowed down. He's still amazing, but in transition, he can't get back like he used to.
Can I just mention something? Because Jace, I could feel the sarcasm on this. Says, laughing my ass off. Yes, Chris. I don't even know why Casemiro is someone we want. I want to be clear here. Like, he is a great player, and like having a great player on this team is fantastic. I'm just saying that if we wanted to improve on a position or a part of the field or a part of the pitch, I wouldn't have chosen the midfield to choose, like to improve on. Like, I think a winger would have been good. I think a striker would have been good. I feel like Battered was a bad choice, and that affected where we went now and where we're going after the World Cup. I mean, am I wrong for saying that?
No,
like I understand everybody's high on the Casemiro thing.
Right, because he's a great player. But when you're building a team, sometimes you have to see how the fit is also. Now, I understand that great players don't come around every day. So I'm not saying you can't, you shouldn't take Casemiro at this point. If you have a chance to get him, get him. I just don't know how he's going to fit. Now, in my opinion, this is something that you might Koke is going to go to Orlando probably. This is something that you might see, that I would rather see. As much as I love Segovia, I think Segovia is underrated. I think this makes more sense. Keep Bright back there, and then you have Casemiro, because Casemiro can contribute in the attack, and he can also get back. Like he doesn't have to be a high playing central midfielder. He can lay deep also, but make sure that Bright gives him the security where he can do what he needs as an 8, push up and down. Now I know he is traditionally a 6, a defensive midfielder, but because of the transition opportunities that the other teams are going to get, I think I'd rather see Yannick Bright as the pivot, and then giving Casemiro a little more freedom.
Well, and I could see something like that happening. I could see something like this, what you have spelled out. Like, you are getting a really good defensive contribution at this point from Segovia. And Casemiro, I feel like, would be a better, I guess, supplemental change when it comes to Segovia instead of changing him over for Bright. Like, I do feel like Bright, it brings something that realistically you're probably not getting from anyone in the midfield.
Well, now when I look at this, I find it hard to believe that we're going to stick with a 4-3-3 if we're playing with Casemiro and Bright, and if we still have Berterame and Suarez. And to be clear, I'm sure that there's going to be other moves on the way. But I do think that if Casemiro comes, Segovia leaves, and Bright stays, that we might go back to like a 4-4-2. And I think that this is more likely. You have a 4-4-2, you have Casemiro and you have Bright in the middle, then you have Segovia and Rodrigo de Paul out wide like they were doing at the beginning of the year, and you have Messi and Suarez up top, or Messi and Berterame up top, whichever way you want to put it. But I think Segovia is probably going to be the guy that's left out, that gets sold, and I think we might end up seeing something similar to this, to be honest with you.
Okay, but now, so here's the thing, right? Now you're literally just cramming midfielders all across the middle, like no
That's what
wingers.
we doing in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but like in the beginning of the year, it wasn't that cool, Danny. We weren't doing that great. Like, what is Hoyos being here going to give us an extra 2 goals a game? Because, like, realistically, you're just letting the better players control the ball and get ahead. And then, so if you bring the midfield up, you know, with Casemiro next to Bright like this, like, you're still throwing RDP in a space where he looks awful at. Like, he just started becoming a Motocito last game.
Okay, that's fair. But again, so where do you put Casemiro? So who are you taking out then? You're taking out Bright?
Well, no, you take out Berterame. No, look, okay, the way that you had it before with Segovia out, because I think that it's gonna be easier to move Segovia. I think that you'd get more back if you move Bright, and plus you're making more of a like for like change, but for the better, right? According to what everybody's saying. But then at the same time, like, we got to do something about this guy. Like, Berterame's got to go. Something's got to be done with him.
He's staying for the year. He's staying for the year. And Mr. Spider-Pig is saying if Casemiro was playing against Orlando, there's no way we'd be losing after winning 3-0. Why?
It would still happen.
Yeah, like they were killing us in the transition. That's what I'm telling you, that he probably can't do very well. He's defending the transition.
And this is another idea. Just make Bright center back, bro. By bluer face. I mean, that's
see him as a center back.
And we floated that idea last season, Danny, for having Bright at center back. I mean, we don't even know what the hell is going to happen with Aviles. Like, we might come back from the World Cup. Aviles is waiting for everybody at the parking lot in like a sleeping bag.
That's right. He
Imagine.
might come back.
Like Toto Aviles in the middle of like Dry Pink Stadium in a sleeping bag.
Yes, this is true. Casemiro has played center back at Man U. Maybe. I highly doubt that's what he's coming for, to be honest with you, but maybe. Look, like I said, my gripe is he's a great player. I think you get as many great players as possible on the team. That's great. My worry is like we still have issues up top. That's ultimately my issue, is that we still have the same issues up top. But to be clear, if he's coming, I know that there's other moves on the way. There has to be other moves, right? Because they can't afford him if there's no other moves. So they have to sell a Segovia. Maybe they figure out how to sell an Ayala back. You know, who knows what other moves they can make? Maybe what's his name? Allende. Maybe he's out for the whole year, and because he's out, they get his designation back and the money that they can spend on somebody else. Like, there's a couple things that can happen here, so I'm interested to see what happens.
So Tabaquito saying, show me a 3-4-3 with Bright between the middle and the CB position. Like, that's realistically kind of like what you just had there. And
yeah, it's just dropping him the further. It's like just dropping him deeper, right? And then you push up Frey up the right and Region up the left, a little further up, and then you drop Bright down and then spread out Lujan and Mikael. But it's not too far different from what we got here.
And again, I just want to make this very clear. I feel like obviously getting Casemiro is a huge improvement. We're getting a great player with like great bona fides and like a proven player. But at the same time, I'm just thinking structurally in terms of like this team, knowing what this team is. Like, as an outsider, people look at this and they're like, oh my goodness, Casemiro going to Inter Miami, it's fantastic. Yes, it is. But is this something that really Inter Miami needed? No. Like, I wish we wouldn't have signed Battered. I wish we would have had the money. I don't even know how we're going to pay Casemiro. We got like $5 in the bank account.
I don't even think we have $5. I think we're going to do what we did with Rodrigo de Paul last year. Rodrigo de Paul, I think it was a loan, actually. He's going to just play on a TAM deal probably and do that for half a year. And then next year, they'll give him the DP designation. So Berterame, who knows what they'll do with him in the offseason. But Berterame is probably gone in the wintertime. But I can't imagine that they figure out how to move him right now. So Berterame is probably with us for the entire year. And Casemiro will probably come for a TAM deal. And next year they'll give a DP. Hopefully they switch up the rules and maybe there's a fourth DP added and we can add somebody else. But that's what I'm expecting.
Well, and Sean Callahan is saying we got 13.7 thousand Garber bucks. So, like, I don't know what that's gonna do for us. And look, this is a Christian. How is Bete a DP? I mean, I don't know, dude. And I don't know if this is really. I don't know if this is factual here, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Tabaquito. Saying Chris with Casemiro here, RDP becomes even better.
Why would it become better? I feel like Bright already freed him up. Like this is Rodrigo de Paul already has all the freedom that he can get. He's not gonna get any more freedom.
And then Mike V's here trying to play Hoyos. Says we're gonna play a 4-2-3-1.
Who would be the wingers then? We're still in the same spot. A 4-2-3-1. He's saying the back line, you have the double pivot of Brighton and Casemiro. And then the three, you have Messi as a cam, I'm assuming.
RDP
Or I guess you want to put Rodrigo de Paul as the attacking midfielder, and then Messi on the right, Berti on the left, and Suarez up top.
Oh, yuck.
What we need to fix is our striker and winger situation. Because I feel like the rest of the team, it's not blowing anybody out of the water, but those two positions right there, they need to be shored up.
And Alex is here chiming in saying, I really like the idea of playing Casemiro as center back. Remember when Busquets played there? I mean, I remember, but sometimes it was great and sometimes it wasn't great.
When they played that high line, it wasn't because, again, he had a hard time getting back.
I think that it's a great addition to the team. I just feel like, systematically speaking, I don't feel it's the best move for immediate improvement for this team.
You know, Studio 40012 has been saying some mean things, but he did say something that I was going to bring up. Casemiro coming over. Now, I don't know his personal relationships, his personal friendships. I don't know any of that stuff, right? What I do know is that he's Brazilian. And I was talking about it the last couple of shows, how I've come around to wanting a certain Brazilian to come on this team. And I don't know if Casemiro coming makes maybe that more possible. The Studio 40012 said, don't worry, Neymar coming this summer. Hey, like we just opened up that that Brazilian bag right there, and we said, hey, we're accepting Brazilians also. I'm all for it.
Hold on, Danny, because you're sounding really ridiculous. For as much as my FIFA loving playing ass would love that, Reaper is saying Neymar's not coming, Danny. And then Sean asks a great question with our Garber bucks. Where are we getting the money, Danny? Again, where's the money? Danny, show me the monies.
Okay, so let's see.
Where's the money?
We have a
Danny?
Segovia. We have the Segovia that we can sell. We have a Bright that could possibly get sold also. We have a Cremaki, which we've been trying to sell to Parma, but I don't know if they want him anymore since he got injured. We have a David Ayala, possibly get sold also. There's players that can be sold. I think David Ruiz might be gone also. Like, there's a couple players that can get moved. Noah Allen, wasn't there a talk about him going to play in Europe also?
For a team
Like, there's
in
players
Greece,
that I don't want to see go. But for anybody that's making it out to the stadium on Sunday, enjoy it, because there's a lot of faces that you're going to see on Sunday that you might not see come July. So soak it in.
Tell you.
Enjoy your friends. Enjoy the homegrowns that you've been seeing for a while, because there's a chance that in the next 2 months, this team looks different. And it starts with the Casemiro news.
Imagine, I mean, let's just I'm gonna name some players, and you tell me if you think they're gonna be here by the time we finish the World Cup. Okay. So Yannick Bright.
I think so. I think he stays.
Okay. Segovia.
No, I think he's gone. I thought he was gone before the season even started.
Okay. All right. David Ruiz.
I think he's gone.
Noah Allen.
And I want him to stay.
Dude, but and it sucks because the only thing that's keeping him is the fact that this guy Regilon cannot stay healthy for more than a couple games.
Right. And I think I would like him to stay. But if we're, like everybody's saying, where's the money? I think you can get good money back for Noah Allen, as much as I would love him to stay. I think that would be somebody that you'd have to let go also.
Oh, Danny, you're going to play the sound? Okay, all right. VC Miami chimes in with a clothesline. 499 Super Slam says, do you think La Familia will stop crying now that Inter is going to get another superstar?
Not if he doesn't acknowledge them.
Are you speaking about us, like La Familia too? Like normal fans and ticket holders, or is it just the supporter groups?
I think he means the supporter groups.
Okay. Listen, I think things are going to change, and I think that this is going to be great because there's such a huge Brazilian fan base. Like, this will be fantastic. This could potentially bring another supporter group, Brazilian. I mean, we're pretty diversified in our supporter groups, Danny.
Yeah, but Casemiro doesn't move the needle like that. If Neymar comes, that's a different story.
Oh, for sure. That would be great.
Yeah, I'm hoping Neymar comes. I know that the chances are slimming down, but if he wants to still play with Messi, this is his chance. He could sign literally for one calendar year, sign from July to July. And that way he gets to participate and possibly win 2 trophies or 2 MLS Cups with Messi, because he'll have this season and then he'll have the little short season at the start of the next calendar year. And in a span of 12 months, he can win 2 MLS Cups, obviously, if everything goes right. So absolutely, I think he signs up for that.
What about, I'm going to give you a couple names, Danny. What about, considering how well he's been playing so far, Gonzalo Lujan?
Or Falcon?
But Falcon's been playing like a dumpster bag.
Yeah, but I think he still gets
like you can
some
move
recognition for what he's done over the last year.
Yeah. Oh, the loner with a nice comment saying 169 people here. Let's make a La Familia. We are La Familia, guys. All of us.
Everybody that is an Inter Miami fan is automatically La Familia. And if they tell you otherwise, tell them to shut up. Everybody is La Familia. If you're an Inter Miami fan, you are La Familia. I lost my train of thought. Oh,
Ian
169
Frey.
people active. Do we have 169 likes? Ian Frey. I think he stays. I think Ian
Okay.
Frey is-
Do you think that Allende is gone? Because he's like injured for life now.
No, I don't think he's gone. But if they designate him unable to come back this year, that might free up some cap for us, and that might work out for us. I mean, I would hate to see somebody's waste a year of their career, right? Because they only have so many years to play. But that's the only way.
I wanna put a poll up here. Who's gone? How many names should I put in this poll? Bright and Segovia, and that's it.
I think those are the main two. With what we know right now, with the coming of Casemiro, pause. I think that is the two that are, I think, on the chopping block, the most likely. But I do think that they get the most from Segovia, so I think that's why he is the one to go. And look, he's played in the Portuguese league, so I wouldn't doubt that a team like Porto or Sporting or Benfica or somebody like that would come knocking and give him an opportunity, and they could probably get 10 mil for him, and they can convert like 30% of that to GAM or TAM or whatever that crap's called.
I mean, Rubita is speaking you're coming here choosing violence. Rocco is gone. Let's not do that, Rubita. I am not down for that. And so far we're getting some pretty good input on the votes. Vote 2 for Segovia, 1 for Bright. And that's a really good comment right there. Segovia, Allen, Ruiz, Frey, and Falcon, all possible. Absolutely.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a big changeover. Look, with this big gap, these 2 months, we're going to have at least 3 new starters by the time July comes around. And I also think we're going to have a new manager. So that should be interesting.
This is diabolical. Should I stop the voting?
Yeah, stop it.
All right, so I'll stop the poll right now.
Most people think Segovia, and I think that's going to be it. And it's going to suck because I really like Segovia. And I was happy that he was starting to click with this new freedom that he had to push up, So we'll see. But I really do think that he's going to be the odd man out in this case. And if it ends up being Bright, although Casemiro is a better Bright, I think that we might suffer in transition a bit because he can't defend in transition like Bright can. And that's not me saying Bright's better, because people are just like, and you know what really irritates me, and people probably start doing it more often now that I'm about to say it. When people make a comment that is like going against us, and they put the stupid little laughing emojis.
Yeah.
I don't want to punch you through the screen, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah. It is kind of annoying.
Oh, you think
because they're like laughing in our face. Look at you idiot. You're such an idiot. Yeah. I put up another poll just for shits and giggles. I put who's gone,
Allen or Frey.
Allen or Frey.
I think of the two, Noah Allen is more likely. 1, because he's healthier. 2, because he's already been linked to Greece. I think that if one of those goes, I think Noah Allen is the most likely one to go.
Have hope hub says Real Madrid kid. Laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji. Reaper comes in with wave emoji or whatever that is.
I don't know. I figured that was gonna happen once I said it, but yeah, just so everybody's clear. Everybody like gives me crap for being around. That's who I support, but I started supporting them like 10 years ago. I have Barca kits also that I haven't worn in forever, because I didn't really have a team. I used to just root for players, and then eventually I saw Real Madrid in person like 12, 13 years ago, so I decided to just rock with them. But I have Barcelona kits. I'll rock a Barcelona kit for you guys if it makes me more of a football knower, because I'm wearing a Barcelona kit.
Like, you come on with a Barcelona kit, you might be a legit genius.
People swear like I support Real Madrid, but like they don't make or change my club is Inter Miami and then Deportivo Pereira. Those are my 2 clubs. Like Real Madrid is who I support, but like it's really not that serious.
So far 100% voted for Allen. That he's gone.
He's a more likely one. Which is
And
crazy because
listen,
Ian Frey is the bona fide starter.
it's sad because it's like you said, come, time when it's World Cup's over and it's back to playing some football here in the MLS in July, there's going to be a number of players that aren't going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, now you got a dead emoji.
Oh, Madrista and Barca kid. I don't consider myself Madrista. Yes, I root for them, but like I promise you, when they got eliminated by Bayern in the Champions League, I was just happy that Luis Diaz played well. Like it's not like European soccer. I don't really feel like I love watching them play, but I don't feel like a connection. Like you guys that are diehards of like these teams from Europe, like that's cool. I don't that if that's you, but I can't. I've never been able to build that like love for those European teams. I just haven't been able to.
Shout out to Tuan with the great comment. Says, I'm a remote supporter of Inter Miami. I'm in LA and support Inter Miami CF.
There you
I
go.
feel
You
that
are.
I'm part of La Familia. Shout out to
You are
you.
part of La Familia.
And I want to mention something before we finish the show here.
Just so you know, I'm gonna drop a shirt on the store, and it's gonna say, "I'm a La Familia member."
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's great. I'll buy one because I'm La Familia too.
Yeah.
And I got emails to prove it. I got email. You know what? I'll bring up my email. You know what? I'm gonna do that right now because that's something I wanted to post a couple days ago.
Babe, get working on that.
Yeah,
You're
let's
gonna
do
make
it.
a shirt. It's just gonna say,
Listen,
"I'm a La Familia member." That's it.
look at that email. It says, hearing La Familia in full voice again. And this was a Merry Christmas post by Jorge Mas. And this was like in 2023. Okay.
We're all
So,
part of La
like,
Familia.
we are La Familia. And by the way, again, I wanted to mention this. We have to do an episode where we explain to people that Inter Miami was not in last place for their whole existence before Messi got here. Like, there's nothing that gets me more upset than that post online.
Absolutely, the Casemiro shirt will come at some point when he goes it over here.
Yeah.
Danny, any comments on Solana tweets? Which one? That man has been putting out tweets.
He's got a
He
100
has to have
bullet
calluses on
machine
his
gun.
thumbs at this point. Like he's just tweeting every 20 minutes. So I don't know which one you're referring to because that man has been tweeting like crazy over the last couple of days. So, all right. And I think we've got it. Unless there's anybody wants to bring anything up about Casemiro, Chris, anything else. So ultimately, are you happy? I guess I'll end it with this, and I'll ask the chat. Just tell us, are you happy with this signing? And then Chris, are you happy? Like right now, you find out it's happening. We don't know all the specifics. Who's coming? We don't know who's going, but we know Casemiro's coming. Are you happy that we have Casemiro on the way? Don't forget about who might leave. As of right now, we're getting Casemiro. Are you happy?
Yeah. I'm happy.
I am. Now I'm curious to see how everything else plays out around this move. And then how's this even a question? Well, because some people might not be happy. They might think, well, I'd rather have Bright and then sign another big name to a different position. But if Casemiro's available, I haven't heard of linked to anybody else. I'll take Casemiro.
Can I just want to, and I don't know how much, look, Nick is saying Chris is sad because no more playing time for Bright. I don't know how much Casemiro is going to cost us. Like, I don't know what the numbers are, but like, I feel like
18 mil at Manchester United last year.
I feel like, and while people, vote on the poll that I got up, okay, I do feel that like if there's any player in the last 2 years, and this is aside from Messi, right?
It was
that
18
has
mil
been
last year.
That has been consistently playing well, if not exceeding expectations. It's Yannick Bright. No one else. Consistently. Like if you guys watch this team every game, there's no way that you guys can be able to deny that Yannick Bright himself has consistently been good, if not better than expected.
But look, and the owner brings up a good point. He agrees with you, but Casemiro is better.
Okay,
And that's fair
fine.
also.
And that's why
fair.
I'm happy.
Right. That's fair. You're one way or another, he's going to be, if he could keep the form he had last year, probably the second best player on this team when he gets here. So that's fair. I think what Chris is saying, though, is that's great, but we're upgrading a strength, but our weaknesses are still there. But my hope is that they fill those in. So as of right now, just not knowing what's coming in the future, and maybe my thought process will change when I start seeing the other moves happening throughout the summer. But as of right now, look, Casemiro, I've been a big fan. He's been a mainstay in the Madrid midfield, and then he did great with Manchester United. Not at first. It was a rough start in Manchester United, but over the last year, especially last season, he played great. I'm happy.
Well, 100% of the people that voted are happy that Inter Miami is going to have Casemiro on the team. So
we also need
Jose. Are you happy that Casemiro is going to be on Inter Miami? Are you happy that Casemiro is going to be on Inter Miami, Jose? Yeah, he said yeah. He's happy.
We need to make a show where we talk about what we need. And maybe that's what we'll do next week, because we need more than just wing and striker. Like I said, we'll get into that next week. But that's it. We got one game to go before the 2-month break. And look out for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to be dropping the preview of Inter Miami versus Philadelphia. So make sure that you're on the lookout for that tomorrow evening. Chris, do you have Delon? When is the preview show? The preview show, we're going to drop that tomorrow. We're going to have Todd the God on there. So we come at you 4 times this week. Wait, we did Sunday also, right? So we've done Sunday,
yeah, we
Monday,
did Sunday post game.
Tomorrow. I'm sorry, today and tomorrow. 5 days in a row.
Okay. I mean, guys, unexpected too, huh?
Finishing strong, because we're about to have a 2-month break. And if anybody wants to, and we're going to keep bringing episodes throughout the summer, probably not as often because it's not going to be as much going on, but we are going to be dropping a lot of content on our other channel, the Battered Fans or Battered Soccer Fans, because that's where we're going to be talking World Cup and all that other things happening across, whether it be the MLS or just in general in the World Cup. So make sure that you're following that channel, because that's where we're going to be doing a lot of our stuff, since it's not necessarily Inter Miami focused.
I just want
and then shout out to you, Have Hope Hub, Battered Cafeteros. Check it out if you haven't already. Yeah, I don't know. If you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening to the end. Please leave 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are still here live, and there's 166 people watching, I hope that there's 166 likes when we get off of here, because that helps us a ton. We appreciate everybody jumping on the live. And again, make sure you look out for the preview of the Philadelphia game tomorrow night. So until the next one, have a good one.